What is good? Hopefully our internet. We're back. We got a live Superflex tight end premium startup mock post combine with rookies and a microphone adjustment.
All good over here. Got it done. Beat them. Thanks for stretching that out a little bit for me. Way to give me a little bit extra time, boss.
All right, so this is going to be our first startup mock with some new information on these rookies. So we'll see kind of how this running back class, guys like Golden, maybe move up the board a little bit here. See how not working out maybe affected Tet and Cam and Shador. I don't think at all, but we shall see in the eyes of these beholders. And then of course we had a big trade go down during the combine. San Francisco trading Deebo to Washington Commanders. So
Huge
obviously
trade.
some big front office ties between those two organizations. So we're able to have a nice open line and both sides knowing what the other guy could do for them. And I think that's a good fit. Obviously we have this mock going on, but we like to kind of let it roll a little bit here. And so a little preamble, but I think the Deebo to the Commanders is a nice fit for kind of what their offensive style was. I know they threw a lot of screens last night. We talked about this a little bit with Big D on the Patreon last night. But you got Terry, and now you got Deebo, where you had guys like Zacharias and Deami Brown, which no slight to those guys, but Deebo's just operates and can do a lot of different things. And Cliff's no stranger to throwing things closer to the line of scrimmage. You have somebody mobile who can move around, and Daniels. Now you get, him moving one way and Deebo coming across, or Deebo sitting over here and just got one man to beat, and just really just one more thing to stress out the defense if Deebo is in shape and healthy.
Yeah, and I think it'll be nice to see him get a fresh start.
Right.
In that situation, a player of his caliber, a fifth-round pick, right? So you get traded for a fifth. It's not like somebody gave up a 2 for you, So does he come over there? Well, we all know that Deebo plays football with a chip on his shoulder. Does he show up to Washington ready to re-chip it, right? And I got into a little conversation with you a while back about salary cap, and everybody we always hear about these teams. Oh, this team's got this much salary cap space. What does the owner want to spend some money?
Right.
And I told you 2 weeks ago, I was like, Deebo's not getting traded, man. They're going to release him because it saves them like $8 million. Well, basically, the Niners just bought a fifth-round pick for $8 million, right? It cost them. I mean, it was a little difference. If that's true, just laying it out there, as far as like a front office, we're trying to win. Like, I think the 49ers might have just bought a fifth-round, because if they cut Deebo, they save money versus trading him. That's so what I've read. So, like, they're in my eyes, that sounds like the Niners are like, you know what, we'll eat that $8 million that we could have saved by cutting him, because that gives us a fifth-round draft pick for extra assets. Is that?
Well, so I had a busy day today, and I haven't dove into the semantics of the contract and how it's going to be. But from my understanding, I like to hear somebody smarter than me who's well versed on this talk about it. But
sure. Sorry, I didn't bring anything to the table there, but an idea.
It seems like that the Commanders are going to pay Deebo's salary, or this year's 17.5 or whatever. There's a $36 million dead cap hit, but I think the Niners can spread that out over 2 years if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they've cleared cap moving forward.
Yeah.
Right. So that helps with the Purdy deal.
Sure.
And all that kind of stuff to get that stuff on paper. And then I do think that Purdy will be very good to the San Francisco 49ers in the way that they reached that initial deal is going to be what it is, but the restructures over time is what makes these front offices and quarterbacks be able to do things.
When you get 3 years in, you don't actually have to pay that $50 million against the cap that year. You always move it back.
Dak's situation right now is for the Cowboys is really strapping, and it doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere. And the way his deal's structured, I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see how that goes with Brock. But what I will say is the Niners have been very good at managing salary cap and money and spending it. Now, have they always made the right decisions? No, but they're one of the better teams up there with Philly and Kansas City, and we see the good teams who are normally good be able to manage this cap in one way or another, and not have these big contracts saddle them. Like right now, the Cowboys just look saddled with CD and Dak, and it's just like, now we got to pay Micah, and where are we getting what I mean?
Yeah.
Be interesting. So
Jerry's not doing them any favors. All right.
No. All right, let's hop in here. We got Josh Allen 1-1. We got Jaden Daniels 1-2. Dan is a Daniels guy. We got Lamar Jackson at 1.3. We got Jamar Chase at 1.4. We have Brock Bowers at 1.5. This is tight end premium 1.5. I believe we led off with that.
Yep.
We got Justin Jefferson 1.6. Jalen Hurts 1.7. Neighbors 1.8. CeeDee Lamb 1.9. Joe Burrow 1.10. So no Patty Mahomes. We got Gibbs in here at the 1.11. Then we have Bijan at the 1.12. Then Brian Thomas and St. Brown. So
and then Puka. So a little three wide receiver run.
Wide receiver run. No Mahomes. And then Herbert, Mahomes, Caleb Williams, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6.
Latest I've seen Mahomes go yet.
Yes. Nico Collins at 2.7. Genty at 2.8. So that's right around Genty's range. We'll pull up some FFD ADP in a minute. We got Trey McBride at 2.9. Drake London, Drake May, and Ladd McConkey coming in at 2.12.
Earliest I've seen him go.
Hot. Yeah, so Patty Mahomes is falling here. And, this is one draft. And, we've seen him be falling back to this 8, 9, 10 range quite a bit, but never into the second. So we'll see if this trend continues for whatever reason. But I tend to think that we're going to see this offense go the other direction, and where we've been trending down to the lowest explosives, that we're going to be trending back up to a higher on upper end of explosives, and Patrick Mahomes at some point is going to come. Remember,
they tried, right?
Right.
Hollywood Brown came in. They drafted dude from Texas,
Worthy,
and
Rashi.
And Rasheed was there. So they came out and they were like, we're not going to be, keeping the rookie behind like we've always been. We're going to bring him in, get him implemented quickly. And then Brown never plays a snap, and then until the end of the season. And then Rashee Rice goes out early after making 2 or 3 games worth of hay there. He put the hay in the barn for us.
Mm-hmm.
But like they came out here with speed, and then 2 out of 3 were gone by week 3.
Right, 100%. And then you have Worthy, who's a rookie, who took a while to kind of figure everything out as they should.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes in, and that's not what they were expecting out of him. They were expecting to bring him along, be able to do some gadgety stuff with him, stretch the field a little bit. But by the end of the year, he seemed to have a real good grasp of what they wanted to do. And now if you do sign Hollywood to another team-friendly deal coming back, potentially, we don't know. And then if you have Rashee Rice healthy and unsuspended, you have an opportunity now to use Xavier Worthy in a bunch of different ways, as well as Rashee, as well as Hollywood Brown. And I think you'll see the explosives kind of come back. We've seen, and I obviously Tom Brady is awesome, but we saw his career kind of go in a few different directions, a few different times where, I'm sure the fantasy community at that point had, Tom Brady's not the number 1 quarterback anymore, and
good point.
Yada, yada, and up and down. And the defense, a lot of the times, early in Brady's career helped him out. Then it was Brady, and then the defense, and then they went a while without winning the Super Bowl. But Brady was evolving. The Patriots were evolving. And I think Mahomes and that defense has been really good, and they just have had some bad luck on offense here or there. They've managed to win a lot of games still. But I think that explosive offense comeback, they've smashed so many picks on defense, and then Spags just stays around. So, obviously that's not a detriment to Patrick Mahomes in any which way, and there's not a better person with, one possession and ball to go down and score than Mahomes, but hasn't necessarily had to put up gaudy numbers week in, week out to sustain a winning franchise, right? So I think we see that bounce back a little.
Let me put the bow on that. Like, the Chiefs just went for the 3 straight Super Bowls trying to win them, right? Like, they didn't need to do anything in the regular season but get to the postseason as healthy as possible.
Right.
They literally have not had to score the football under, like there's been no pressure on them to do anything offensively and necessarily defensively for the last 2 years, other than, hey boys, we are the dynasty. Let's just get to week 19.
Right.
Let's just go and have a bye week that week too, if we can. So it's been about W's, and it hasn't been about points. And I don't know if it's going to be about points necessarily, but I think it'll be easier. And probably now, thank God we don't have to talk about 4-Pete, right?
Yeah.
So, like, pressure's off. They lost. Let's start it over. Wipe the slate clean. He still goes to – I think the stat was he's had more AFC championship games than, interceptions last year, right? Like so we'll just wait on him to go back to another AFC Championship game this year, and probably score a little bit more points in the regular season along the way. But again, it's probably it is 2.5 is egregious, and in a startup, the value the safety on Patrick Mahomes bringing it every single week. Yes, I even repeated the stat this year. During the season, he had gone like 16 straight weeks without being like a top 10 quarterback or something like that. No need for him to do that for the Chiefs. Hey, Bup. Let's let him reset again. But at this point, if you're getting Patrick Mahomes in the early second round of a startup draft, the safety in that pick, right? Because we can go back and look at picks all from last year. There's home runs and there's doubles and there's not too many strikeouts, but like your Patrick Mahomes it doesn't get any safer than this.
Yeah,
and if you're that late in the draft,
the flip of going from like the 1-1 locked in to like 1-3, 1-4, and we're okay with it, to being like we're all the way down. It's just like this is just the temperament of the dynasty player that we're currently in. And Burrow last year and is still back at 110 and is still a ridiculous value. Like Burrow is T's coming back apparently, franchise tag. We'll see what kind of happens, but like, dude, Burrow's, if he's upright, he's throwing for well over 4,000 and well over 30 touchdowns.
QB3 last year.
That's what I'm saying. Like
QB3.
That's just, I get we want the legs and we want the safety of the legs. Burrow's got some athleticism and some legs, but like he's also the gunslinger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The gunslinger.
Yeah, he's not playing with Patrick Mahomes' defense or his resume.
Right.
He's gunslinging because he has 1-0.
Right. And Mahomes will be back to I think where we were. So I think that's good value. Great value on Burrow. Genty's about where he all right, come on, bud. Get down. Genty's about where he needs to be. Lad McConkey coming up at 212. That's a decent jump, but nothing crazy. McConkey's at 307 right now.
Okay.
So people are liking some Laddie. Then we come in
loving Laddie.
Then we come in with C.J. Stroud at 3-1. I know we've just dominated the conversation with quarterbacks for the most part to start off here, but man, oh man, like that was your 110, 201, all day last year, and now we're at 301, man.
Stroud was way higher than you talking about. Stroud still. Stroud was
106,
105 last year, bro. 3-1 to 1.5 to 3-1. I mean, they've moved out the offensive coordinator, so they're getting a complete restart over there. And obviously, they've stated their number one intention is to improve the offensive line. 3-1. The Herbert talk that we've had before in the past, the Mahomes, Drake May in the late second, Jordan Love, and Bo Nix in the middle of the third, Stroud in early third. Like that's all the reason why I'm taking one of those high-end wide receivers or Brock Bowers in the first round.
Yeah.
That's exactly why. Then that's the way we played it when we made that video last year about FFPC and the things that we explained in the video that we made about why our strategy was what it was, to be able to get quarterback points in the first round that's not a quarterback, maybe quarterback points in the second round that's not a quarterback, and then get some quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Right? So if I can get Stroud at 3-1, if I can get Bo Nix, Love in the middle of the third, that makes me feel so much better about my first round stud wide receiver grab and or late first round Jahmyr Gibbs type pick, and then maybe trying to find another one. I mean, Brian Thomas can't get any closer to the first round. Like the first round is just packed. Like Brian Thomas he's about to squeeze CeeDee Lamb out of it. Really, when it all marinates, and the stink on the Dallas is the stink on Dallas, and then Liam Cohen talks a little bit more about Brian Thomas. Like he's gonna be 112.
Right now we have Brian Thomas at 206. So mid-second, so that's a little high from where but the variance of everything, you could see Brian Thomas at 201, 112 without thinking twice about it. But back to kind of the quarterback, like, usually we see a block of 4 to start, and then we'll see 2 or 3 more. And so it can get a little dry, but, the way this is mixing now into the third round, whereas Love and Stroud were firmly in the second round, if those guys are going to float into the third round, and we're going to have Penix and Lawrence and Dak's at 5.7 here, Good job grabbing Cam Ward there. You know, I think that's a good pick. But Kyler's at 4-1. I know everybody loves to hate Kyler right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kyler's a top 6 quarterback next year. Right? It's not out of the realm of. I know everyone just thinks he sucks now.
It's not a popular thing to say. But
we've seen him be around there, and he has the power inside of him to be there.
Right.
The ability to be there. And I know, you know, nobody wants to hear it, but
he's done it before,
right.
and it's a lot easier to get somebody that has done it than a new guy.
Right. So we got Stroud at 3-1. We got Barkley at 3-2. Harrison at 3-3. Harrison's at 208 in the FFD ADP. So late Harrison. We got Brees.
How are you quoting these ADPs so fast?
I mean, I know a lot of them.
Boom, son. You were just telling me where these guys go.
Yeah, I also have it pulled up, but I do know a lot of them.
I assume it's over there pulled up
somewhere. I look at them a lot, and I use them a lot. So it's
crushing right now.
Bucky Irving at 305. Garrett Wilson at 306. Bo Nix at 3.7, Jordan Love at 3.08, Achane at 3.09, Purdy at 3.10, JSN 3.11, and Rashi at 3.12, and then Kyler Murray at 4.01, Laporte at 4.02, Jonathan Taylor at 4.3, AJ Brown at 4.4. So it seems like, you know, I know there's some age there on AJ Brown, but that seems to be a nice value percolating if you're a back of the first pick and rookie pick kind of team, and you've been a winner and you are a winner, like to be able to add AJ Brown for, you know, maybe not even a late first, maybe you could do 2-2s and somebody would take him. I don't know. We'll see how the value starts slipping down.
Nobody's shipping AJ Brown
but look at, you know, we just got Tet McMillan. It's probably, you know, a late one might get somebody's interest. Potentially.
Might start a conversation.
If he starts slipping down. But Tet going right behind him. There's T. Higgins at 4.06, so T's on the rise. Roma Dunze at 4.07. Trevor, Omarion Hampton with, you know, people loved the numbers from the combine, so 4.09. But I don't think that's terribly off from where we were starting to see the other rookies run. We'll get back to that in a second. Penix at 4.10. Tyler Warren at 4.11. Travion Henderson at 4.12. And then we have Baker Mayfield at 5-1, Cam Ward at 5-2, Kyron Williams at 5-3, Jared Goff, Quinshawn Judkins at 5-5, Jared Cook, blast from the past, James Cook at 5-6, Dak Prescott at 5-7, J.J. McCarthy at 5-8, Josh Jacobs, Kenny Walker, Xavier Worthy, and Chase Brown at 5-12 to round out the 5th round. So what in there intrigues you or says, you know, I'm out on the 4th round here?
Well, the fourth team started with Jamar Chase, Trey McBride, and I was really interested to see how that went. And then he came out with Achane, nothing wrong with that. AJ Brown, 4-4 AJ Brown is stealing. Josh Jacobs at 5'9", and then Tua at 6'4". So it's, this, you know, I'm having tough time pocketing Tua these days. But and that was even jumped around on you, but I was liking that the Jamar Chase, Trey McBride start. Man, that looks like something I want to sign up for.
Shout out, was that Jeremiah? Yeah. Shout out Sean Boz.
See
you guys dropping some cash in the chat over there. Appreciate you guys. Sean Boz going back in the day in the FFPC days of me and Big Co battling with the Boz.
Oh man, the Boz been around like just a serious OG.
Stay safe out there flying in planes, Bubba.
For sure. Send us a DM of what's really going on.
Don't want to see you upside down on the tarmac.
Don't do it, boss.
Love you, though. An OG.
Shout out.
There's and then Jeremiah in the mock, he said. So shout out to you. All right. Let's hop back in here.
Ended up at 5'12".
Yeah, we have Omarion Hampton. We have Travion at 5.08. We have Caleb Johnson at 5.06, and then Hampton was 5.04. So that's where they are in the FFD ADP right now. So we saw Hampton move up to 4.09, right? So he's jumped up, and then all the other guys staying relatively in line of kind of where they were. Judkins, let's see where he was because I didn't read his name there.
Yeah, remember a couple of weeks ago
Judkins
when I was
6'10",
and I said when I said Cam Ward was a steal in the 8th round.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if 5'2" is sitting here tasting so good right this second.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I mean, your options at that point are what, right? as far as quarterback go, right? So, we were talking before a few mocks ago about Lawrence and Dak and some other guys hanging around, and they do. Lawrence went at 4-6 in this one, so a little earlier. The Cohen news, I think, has re-solidified and piqued some more interest back into Trevor. And then we have Penix, who usually typically goes mid-4th, late 4th. Dak hangs around a little bit and Goff. But, Cam Ward at 5'2" after Baker, if you wanted to say, hey, maybe 5'10", 6'1", maybe Cam Ward goes, would you rather have Cam Ward or Tua?
Oh, Cam Ward.
Yeah, I pretty much could have guaranteed that. And at this point, it looks like, and we don't know what the smoke screen is, it could just be drum up interest, but the Titans are saying they like Cam Ward. They're not going to trade off this. Maybe that just makes making the pick more expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know why if you wouldn't take him. That is not I would much rather see him go to 2 to the Browns. If that's the case, then I love 5'2" Cam Ward.
Okay.
I just like how he would fit into that system. I like what they already have in place. I know it's Cleveland, but he played out there in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're the most similar climates, but he's played in some weather, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the Pac-12 after dark back in the day. And then he went down to Miami and played really well. I just, to the Titans, I don't know how much I love it. We'll see what Callahan can do year 2 and what the new GM can kind of put together. But they just seem so fractured last year and far away. But, hey, you add another receiver. I think your backfield's all right. You shore up that O-line. Where are they at defensively? I'm not necessarily sure. I'm sure we could ask our boy Chev. He's a big Titans guy, but I don't mind that Cam Ward, but you that's too early for you. But Cam Ward was coming in at 701.
Well, you're right. The quarterbacks fall off fast past him. There's Jared Goff gives you a little bit more guarantee, a little less action. I think we had that exact conversation. If Cam Ward looks good at all, he's way ahead of Jared Goff in ADP. But Jared Goff is not a miss.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff was QB6 last year, and he's going to come out there and play just fine next year. I don't know if he's going to be QB6 because Ben Johnson's gone, but they hired from within, and we're going to make this thing work out. I'm hoping. My Detroit Lions love just came out, and I just fell flat because Ben Johnson's gone. But Dak at 5'7", Dak at 5'7", and then everybody's darling J.J. McCarthy. So you got KOC's choice. The only thing right this second is without the decision made. I assume I would imagine that JJ would fall back 2 rounds minimum if Sam Darnold comes back, and then if Sam Darnold's gone, maybe he jumps up here in the Trevor Lawrence range. Maybe
JJ, you mean?
Yeah. So if once the Sam Darnold thing is figured out, JJ is going to go up or down a little bit either way. But
would you rather have JJ or Cam Ward?
I think I'd like to see Cam Ward on a team first to kind of have an idea of where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if just knowing who's picking in the top, and if it's JJ, if Sam Darnold's gone, I want that system, I want that coach, and I want that quarterback together. If you put Cam Ward, the 1-1 usually goes to a terrible situation, and if it'd be different if Tennessee just had like a down year and they still had Vrabel,
right?
I don't know what's going on about to happen over there.
Callahan has been historically good with quarterbacks. Obviously, not so much with Levis, but if we could get some protection and maybe add another receiver there.
Yeah, they got work to be. They're the 1-1. You got work to do. And of course, we say the 1-1 like the Patriots could have been the 1-1, the Browns could have been the 1. There's a block of 5 there. There's a block of 3 to 5 there that just have that they all earned it.
Right.
It was just some tiebreakers and somebody being stupid.
Yeah.
The 1-1 is. It comes down to a weird victory from one team or another that shouldn't have happened.
So would you rather 106 is essentially what Cam Ward is in this draft right now?
Okay, the 6th rookie?
Yeah. Or Jared Goff?
Yeah. It sounds like, obviously with Superflex, it sounds like it's not Jared Goff, right? The 1-6 in a Superflex rookie draft sounds more valuable than Jared Goff.
Yeah.
But if you pull up Jared Goff's game log from last year, he started off a little bit slow, but he absolutely crushed it, especially down the stretch. He made some people some fantasy football money, right? So once he started off a little slow, but once he hit that, hit that turbo and he goes for 34, 10, 16, 23, 41, 25, 25, down the stretch. QB6 for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just wanted to equate it to rookie picks where he went and see, Dak or 106 or JJ or 106 or, all those guys. Baker right before him.
Yeah. Baker's numbers are ridiculous. I still can't. I cannot get over how good Baker has become, and the fact that it happened this year after Canales left, and now Liam, here's the test again. We're gonna. Are we doubting Baker again?
I'm not. I think he's reestablished confidence and as a big enough veteran to be like, nah, we're good. As long
the locker room's with him,
right? That's what I'm saying. And as long as this guy doesn't come in here and completely fuck everything up, which that would be ridiculous to do.
Yeah.
Which I'm drawing a blank on who it is. But in the comments, let me know. But I've got a decent amount of confidence in Baker, and I think Baker has his confidence back. So, that's really kind of what that comes down to.
Josh Grizzard promoted to offensive coordinator.
All right. So
doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. We had Bryce Young coming in at 601, Caleb Johnson at 602, DJ Moore 603, Tua Hawk. Look what I did there. I didn't even mean to do that. CMC 606, Chris Olave 6'7", Terry McLaurin 6'8", DK Metcalf 6'9", Zay Flowers 6'10", Luther Burden 6'11", Devonta Smith 6'12", Chuba 7'1", Waddle 7'2", Addison 7'3", Judy 7'4", Ayuk 7'5".
Judy 7'4".
Yeah.
Do they have a quarterback already?
7'6", Loveland, Mixon 7'7", Ibuka 7'8", Tyreek Hill 7'9", Tricky Ricky Pearsall 7'10".
Didn't last long.
7'11", Pickens, George Kittle 7'12", Jameson Williams. There's Matthew Golden at 8'2", Trey Harris right behind him at 8'3", Derrick Henry 8'4", Jalen McMillan 8'5", Dalton Kincaid 8'6", Travis Hunter at 8'7", Mike Evans, Tyrone Tracy, Shador Sanders, Sam Darnold at the 8'11", Shador at the 8'10", Jaden Reed 8'12", Downs at 9'1", Anthony Richardson 9'2", and Njoku at 9'3", and you are now caught up.
I love that right there. I know everybody hates Anthony Richardson right now, but this team's got Cam Ward, and then you take Darnold and Richardson back to back. On paper, and you look at your team when you're done, your quarterbacks, it looks a little bit shaky, but if it hits, like Sam Darnold's obviously a starter this year. He's either throwing to Neighbors or throwing to Brock Bowers or throwing to Justin Jefferson. You know, it's not hard to see Sam Darnold throwing the ball this year to somebody who's more than capable of catching the ball. If Anthony Richardson can make money for this team right here in the 9th round, and now he's got 3. I know I just assumed that I just put Cam Ward 1-1. He's probably the first pick in the draft. If not, he doesn't go past 2 or 3. So you got to, and he's starting year 1. So you got a starting quarterback. He's a rookie, Cam Ward. Sam Darnold's a starting quarterback. So you got 2 quarterbacks, and nothing to really write home yet, but you got Jahmyr Gibbs, St. Brown, Barkley to start the team off, right?
And a young tight end in Warren.
Yeah, which I'm not. I can't take Warren at 4'11" without a quarterback on my. That was a shaky pick for me there. That's assuming a lot. That's putting some words in Warren's mouth right there at 4'11". But I like the 9-2 Anthony Richardson, and I'll go down in the comments over and over and over again with the average cost per share. We talked about it a month ago. Like 9-2 Anthony Richardson.
Every time.
Sign me up, bro.
Every freaking time I'll take it. Are you saying you got a problem with Tyler Warren at 4'11", or just that you don't have a quarterback before you took Tyler Warren?
Both. I think 4'11". Tyler.
No problem with Tyler Warren at 4'11". I feel like you have been underrating this guy since we started talking about him.
This is the first thing you said.
This is a G right here. I said he's on the level of what Brock Bowers could be.
So not on the level.
He is
Brock Bowers. He
really is. He really is.
He's not even close.
Why is he not even close?
Because Brock Bowers is level. Let's just say there's not even there's a tier 1. And then tier 1 is so good at being Brock Bowers, there is no tier 2. And then there's tier 3, and that's Trey McBride by himself.
No, him and McBride are sames.
Trey McBride's so good, there's no tier 4. So you got tier 1, skip tier 2, tier 3, skip tier 4, and now we're in tier 5 of tight ends. Come on now. Don't be throwing Tyler Warren up there with Brock Bowers.
He's right up there with rookie prospect for me. Like he's a grown man playing that position.
He's a complete tight end. And he's gonna be really good
boss.
Oof.
A boss.
I don't know why you just capitalize all 4 of those letters.
Because he's a stud, dude. He's one of the most can't miss players in this draft. He can do everything. He's uber athletic. He's huge. He's a grown man. Like, he's got great hands. He doesn't drop them.
I know. Okay.
He goes out there, lays wood.
He high points it really well.
Yeah.
I can give him all of that, but the uber athletic is just because he moves well at 6'6", 260.
He moves extremely well at 6'6", 250 or whatever it is.
Let's see how he moves on an NFL field with NFL defenders.
Just like he did in college.
Maybe.
Just like he did in college. So what happens if Brock Bowers comes in here in year 2 and turns up
a Laporta season refreshing?
Kincaid season.
Then he would have been hurt.
But I mean, whatever. People don't want. I'm just saying, like, we put him all the way up on the pedestal, and he deserves to be up on the pedestal. But
he earned it.
But to say that Tyler Warren can't be anywhere near Brock Bowers is silly. Because this is
it's no more silly than it is. You've already said he's just as good as Brock Bowers.
I said he's just as good of rookie. He's in the ballpark of just as good of rookie prospect as
being in the ballpark and being side by side running shotgun.
And I don't have them all that far apart, man. Like I feel they operate differently. But Tyler Warren, I mean, look, if Tyler Warren goes to the Jets, then you're like, all right, well, we're not really sure how much we love that right away. But if Tyler Warren for some reason goes to San Francisco at 11, how much do you love that?
We didn't, and when I say we, I don't mean me, but we didn't like him going to the Raiders when Bowers got there and he just had the best season ever.
My only question was, how are you going to use him? Because you have to use him specifically, exactly how you need to use him, and they did a good job of it. And I like Chip in that role. I'd be a lot more skeptical if somebody like Chip didn't come in there and take that job over, right?
I don't think how are you being anywhere near skeptical in the same sentence as Brock Bowers anyway? I don't care who's coaching.
Because you can't use it. You have to use him in a certain way.
Yeah, the way like he's just throw the ball.
He's awesome, right?
Throw him the ball.
But he's different.
That's how you use him. You throw him the ball.
He's different. He's built different. He's a different size of a player from that position. You just have to use him a little different than you would your standard tight end, and maybe everybody isn't equipped to call those kind of plays and get him in those positions to win like he needs to win and should excel at winning, right? Tyler Warren, plug and play. Doesn't matter who you are. Just put him in there, let him do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're underrating Tyler Warren. You just haven't fallen in love yet. If Josh Norris tells you Warren's good, you'll go, Warren's great. Look how good he is.
You plug and play Tyler Warren into a tight end role is fine. I think we've been Kincaid popped with some ridiculously good efficiency on the top offense in the NFL, scoring touchdowns like that. And then what should have happened to Laporta happened this year, which was a really good season from a young tight end on a good offense. Bowers comes in here and he's Bowers, right? Like that's plug and play Tyler Warren into he's a rookie tight end. He's probably going to be good and decent, but he's not going to be a game breaker. Almost 99% sure. From day one, like it's just not going to happen. He's not coming out here. He's not standing, doing backflips and running away from SEC competition as a freshman like that. Brock Bowers is different.
Yeah, I strongly
late breakout age.
Strongly disagree with
that.
I don't give a fuck about his late breakout age. I don't care when he broke out, what he did. It doesn't matter.
He's 28 years old.
He's not 28, first of all. But number one, like I don't really understand how you're giving Tyler Warren. This is very strange talk coming from you. You should be worshiping the ground this man walks on. It's very odd to me that you're very much underselling.
Because
Tyler Warren has to say.
You can't lump him and Brock Bowers together. Let's just say he's really good prospect.
You don't have to lump them together of how they win. They both win at a really high level, and that's the point I've been trying to drive home with you with Warren, and you refuse to listen to it. They win differently. They operate differently. They're both extremely elite at how they operate on a football field.
Let's see him get up there and be how good he is.
All right. But you better not take a single share of Warren in a draft.
If he's going at 1-3, I won't.
we'll see by the time we're drafting.
I'll get him next year cheaper.
Receipts.
So like, hey,
We're keeping receipts.
I'll get him next year cheaper.
Did you see this one catch Warren had and the stat that came, and then Norris just said this crazy stat. Now I'm at 1-3. Sign me up for Warren.
Yeah.
I've seen it 100 times.
No, you haven't. What I did see 100 times was me repeatedly last tell you guys to not drop Brock Bowers after he went to the Raiders, and not even drop him in regular tight end in if it's non-premium. I was like, just keep him up there.
Yeah, nobody over here was dropping him.
Okay.
Nobody over here was dropping him.
I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just. I said it to y'all.
And none of this is I'm not. I love Bowers. I'm all in on Bowers. I was all in on Bowers last year. I'm still all in on Bowers. I think he's tier 1 with McBride. That's I can't put a big gap in between those two guys. I think I wouldn't take
McBride's a stud.
I wouldn't be taking Bowers at 105, 106. If I can get McBride at 209, I'd much rather have McBride than Bowers.
McBride at 209 is the only reason I can give you. I have no problem with I'll take McBride I'll take Bowers at 1.5 and McBride in the second round and start my team with 2 tight ends in premium.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump back in here.
Go.
We were in the 7th. We had Loveland come off. We had Pearsall come off. We got into the 8th. There was Golden at 8-2, Harris at 8-3, Henry, Kincaid.
We got around Sam Darnold, Anthony Richardson. We were past that.
Yep. And then we had Godwin. We had Tucker Kraft go. There's Pittman at 9-6. ETN at 9-7. Remains one of the top buys in the offseason. 9-8, Montgomery. It's strange to me how Lawrence has gotten some peaked interest, but ETN, who the system has done nothing but good things for running back, has not gotten any bump. Montgomery at 9-8, Kamara at 9-9, Mark Andrews at 9-10, Devin Neal 9-11, James Conner 9-12, Ramondre 10-01, Juwan Jennings a big jump up here at 10-2, Jackson Dart 10-3, so that's your third. All right. Matthew Stafford, Sutton, Shakir, Fields, 10-07, Adams, 10-8, Brian Robinson, Pacheco, Coleman, Jonnu, 10-12.
Wow. Sorry. Jumped a gun. Najee Harris just went 11-6.
Geno at 11-1, Likely 11-2. That's a high pick for Geno, I feel like, where we've been seeing him. Sharbs 11-3, Sinnott 11-4, Pitts 11-5, Najee 11-6, Ferg 11-7, Milrow 11-8, 11-9, Otten, Royals 11-10. It's nice value. Jacoby 11-11, and then
on Jacoby.
Shit. Alec Ayomanor at 11-12. So he's definitely gotten a little bump up. Let's go check on some ADPs here. What do we liking, not liking here? Would you rather have Ricky Pearsall or George Pickens? Is it that? Has Ricky climbed that high?
I'll take Pearsall over. That's a good back-to-back. I'll take Pearsall, and I've been beating the drum for Pickens for a few years over here, but I'll take Pearsall over Pickens. I like the Justin Fields 10-7. He's about to be a starter. I like that 10-7 Justin Fields pick. We know when he's starting, he's scoring fantasy points. Was 5-2 last year as a starter before he got benched, just so the Steelers could see what Russell Wilson would do. 11 points to get out of the gate when they were just running the ball on the road, trying to get some dubs for the Steelers, and they got them. And then week 3 hit 19 points, and then 31 points, and then 15, and then 23. So QB1 points. Obviously the first 2 weeks, but that was just getting going. But, when you get the rushing touchdowns getting going, you've 31 and 23, and that's a really good, and especially the way this team did it. He had the back-to-back quarterbacks to get started, Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, and then stacks out his team a little bit, builds the trenches with some wide receivers, Colston Loveland, grabbing a potential stud tight end there at 7-6, not 4-11. But the 11-6 Najee? Like, what happened to Najee Harris in the 14th round? What did I miss? I missed one Monday night, and all of a sudden Najee's up 5 rounds. I think he just
13-01.
I think he didn't have. He only had one green space in his line, and he was like, "Oh, I'm looking at running back," and that's a spot where, guys, when you're scoring at home, just because you don't have a green space, it's obviously it's a mock, but just saying, like, it's March, so in the 11th round when you're looking and you're like, "Oh man, what do I do?" you don't take Najee in the 11th because his current value is like 2 or 3 rounds later than that.
1301.
Right. All right. So it's a round and a half.
When you look through the running backs, you could start to get worried. But for me personally, what's that team build like? Where are we at here?
Pick 7.
Well, no, it's 6, right? Or is it 7?
It's 7. 1-7. Jalen Hurts, and
so he's got. Let's see what it is. He's got Hurts, Caleb Williams. He's got Garrett Wilson, Rome Odunze. So, decent there. He's got Cook. That's kind of his bell cow right now. And then he's got Olave, so it's got some good value there. Took Loveland at 7-6, so gets himself a nice shot at a good rookie tight end there.
A young shiny object.
Then he takes Travis Hunter, which we don't really know. I'm assuming that's with
the Browns say they see him as a wide receiver first.
Yeah, I think that's going to be kind of up to him.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see kind of where that goes. For me, I just can't pull the trigger on Hunter right now because there's just too much.
Me neither.
Unknown.
But the unknown is if it hits, it's going to be so killer for somebody who gets him in the 8th round, because if it hits, you got a blue chip type prospect who the only reason he would be at least in the 3rd round, if it was like he's wide receiver. You got 5 rounds of startup value for free because you took the chance on Hunter. But in any of those rounds that you got for free, if you take him and he's playing DB and he's only getting 4 targets a game, then you gave up your opportunity cost of getting any of those guys. That's the point.
I guess I'm just locked in on that he is going to be the DB who plays offense sometimes.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree one bit. It's just he's probably WR1 if he's a wide receiver. For sure. So like you're getting
he's top 4
he's
going to
be a top 3 pick in the draft. He's he's that good. Like the defensive backs are, I think I heard, the good wide receivers, we talked about this last time, the best wide receivers in the NFL, they're not 4-2, 4-3 guys for the most part, all that. The best defensive backs have to be the best athletes on the field because they're reactionary. The wide receivers are doing this, and the defensive backs are following. They don't know what they're about to do. They don't know which direction they're about to run. The fact that he's a shutdown corner that could be the best wide, like his footwork, his body control, yada, 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 like what he could be to fantasy football if he was a wide receiver, it makes it so polarizing for where he ends up going in each and every rookie draft and each and every startup draft. Because if you were to catch that lightning in a bottle and all of a sudden you got like a blue chip, type talent for cheap because you took the gamble, and if it's going to burn some people. But in the 8th round, the next pick was Mike Evans, right? A 32-year-old wide receiver who's going to be a Pro Bowler again as long as he wants to play. But how long does he want to go? A year or two?
Yeah. So for me, what I would have, regardless of Hunter, right? Whatever you got to do there. And I can understand it, and it's a lot of subjectivity right now of kind of how I think that's going to go. But as far as the running back play there, for me,
the 11-6 Najee Harris,
right? The Harris, and then he came back with Benson, which whatever. I guess I don't dislike that, but if you're playing I got the bell cow game, and then you're going to stack up, and then you're going to come back with running backs. For me, I'm going to come back with running backs. I would get you Dylan Sampson, get you. Get a couple of young guys in there, and then come back and get some older. Not like you said, Najee could have lasted. Najee might not have lasted. Maybe you get him at 3-6 or 13-6. I love the commit pick there at 13-6 to go with Loveland.
I just in this current climate for Najee's value,
right
at 11-6, you'd be in a real draft if that's who you want to pick. Just trade back and stack assets.
You could have gotten Sampson, and you could have taken Scatabo. Well, you couldn't have taken Scatabo there. But I'm trying to find another younger running back to take. Let's look through. Tony Pollard's still available. Like if you want to give me Tony Pollard, which hey, next season Najee and Harris and Tony Pollard could be at the same level of scoring points. I know Harris probably wasn't averaging 15, 16 points a game this past year, and Pollard was, and we don't know how that's going to play out this following year. And I think if Najee goes to the Chargers, maybe that's a great pick. Right?
Yeah. We just had a nice conversation a couple weeks ago about the 14th round Najee Harris that was depth for our team.
Right.
Not the, oh, God, I need a second running back, 11th round pick.
Yeah, like you could have came in here, you could have grabbed Dylan Sampson, who I think has got a really good chance. Ollie Gordon's still on the board. Jalen Wright's down here if you want to take a shot at something. Javonte Williams is there. You know, there's still some guys. I think the Najee pick was
Cedric Tillman's
was a little early. Cedric Tillman's buried.
But, I know, but that's the point. Cedric Tillman, Royals, just assets.
For the way this team is built, I guess what I'm saying is I'd rather take some shots on some younger guys there and be able to trade him if I want to for Najee, because I feel like at any point you could probably trade Dylan Sampson for Najee through this process. Especially, we don't know where the capital is going to land, but if Dylan Sampson gets round 3 capital and goes to a good spot, and Najee goes to somewhere where you don't necessarily love it,
you could probably take that if right there out of the play. I guarantee you, in your rookie draft coming up, in the spot where Dylan Sampson gets picked, you cannot get that pick you cannot offer Najee Harris and get that rookie selection. You know, 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, something around there. You're not getting that pick.
Yeah.
No,
I mean that's kind of, and then he came down here, took Tootin, who just did well at the combine. He came in at 14-7, and then Pollard went right before him. But that's a little more what I'm talking about.
There it is. That's the 14th round Tony Pollard. Like there's your stacked up like 14th round depth at running back is what we were looking. The conversation was it just
right. You could have stacked up some different names at running back and still maybe gotten Najee Harris a little later, and I probably would have liked the build a little better. Just keeps your flexibility up. Like Najee's not going to.
Good point. Good call.
Not going to help your flexibility all that much. Anyway, right now, and it may not matter. I mean, he may just be a great point scorer for you. Like Najee's been a good player, and we've been a Najee defender forever. I think he's probably going to come out and play fairly well, right? And it depends on where he goes. But
yeah, you're just not. You're going to leave. You make that pick at 11-6. This Najee Harris. You leave this draft, and it's less valuable than pretty much a lot of.
Like I would have taken ETN over Pittman right there.
Okay, yeah, I could do that.
But I would have taken Pittman where I took Hunter.
Right. Well, in this league, on this team, he didn't. ETN was on the other side of. Oh no, he did make the Pittman pick over ETN. Gotcha.
All right, let's jump back into this thing. See how things have progressed. Royals and Alec Ayamaner was where we left off. They were roughly a round up from where they were. Jennings, Juwan Jennings was up from the 14th round to the 10th after the Deebo, and there's Deebo at 13-11.
And the chatter about Ayuk, so that is a
right
magnifier there. You got Deebo's gone now for sure, and now they're taking calls for Ayuk. So
yeah, and I don't know if they're actually going to be taking calls for Ayuk or if that was like, hey, we want to get rid of one of these guys. They're both available, and then Deebo goes, so now Ayuk is out of there. I'm on record of saying I never would have gave Ayuk that money. Yes. I'm a Niners guy. Now he got hurt, and it is what it is. And then you miss. I heard Fred Warner the other day talking about like people want to say how bad the Niners were this year and the injuries, and he was like, it wasn't even necessarily the injuries. He was like, you can get next man up, but he was like, all through camp, a lot of our key players were missing time, and he was like, we're built on competition. Like I'm out there competing against Ayuk every day, like, and we're going hard, and like to come into the season having competed with high end players like Trent Williams is out there, and and maybe these guys aren't going hard every day because they're the star players, but the fact of the matter is you're going out there and you're competing against a good defense every single day, and vice versa, a good offense every single day with your key players in there, and at least getting reps with the maybe it's not consistently all practice long, but you're getting reps with, and they just were missing so many guys throughout camp that you just didn't get any continuity.
Wasn't there. Right, Ayuk was holding out for his contract.
You're not getting those battles.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall got shot.
Right.
So
that was an interesting take from Fred that I heard, but and then Ayuk missed a bunch of time with a dispute, and I also just can't imagine they owe Ayuk a lot of money. He's coming off of a knee injury where he tore multiple ligaments. Like to trade for that, I feel like is awfully risky for somebody, especially because the contract signed, and it's not like it's a good deal for Ayuk. It's market value, right? So. It's a little,
but that being
if
said,
you're the Patriots and you want to bring him in because you got a lot of money and you don't want to draft a receiver, sure, but still, it's risky not knowing how long he's going to be, and is he right, and da-da-da-da.
But it's last year's market value with the cap going up, so at least it is a big contract. But when Higgins gets the contract, it's going to be way bigger because the cap's going up.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And obviously, everything's going to filter back down behind Jamar Chase. Obviously, Jamar Chase is going to make a dent, and the next man up probably isn't worth carrying his jock strap. But the idea is the same. Once it goes up a little bit for everybody. So maybe that Ayuk, contract isn't going to be quite as much of a boat anchor.
Yeah. All right, so we got Tillman there finally off the board in the 13th. Raheed Shaheed at 12-10 I think is a great pick. I don't mind the Dobbins pick. We'll see where he kind of ends up. Isaiah Bond went at 12.04. Scatabo 12.2. Swift 12.01. I think that's a good pick for Swift there in the 12th round. I don't know if he's going to be, a lion or a lion. If he's going to be a bear or not, we shall see what the coach thinks of him. But we've talked a little bit about these tight end picks late on these last couple drafts. Joku at 9, Kraft's interesting at 9, Jonnu at 10's maybe a little early, but then likely at 11's a fun pick. Pitts at 11, he's still super young. Sinnott 11.4. How much does the Deebo thing maybe affect some Sinnott and Ertz love coming into the next year? I don't know. Ferguson at 11, Otten at 11, all fun picks. Freiermuth at 12.3. Could be fun. I like JT Sanders, and then you got some younger guys kind of filtering in here. Ferguson, Terrence Ferguson had a nice combine. He came in at 14.5 here. Mason Taylor at 14.2. Theo Johnson 15.11. Arroyo 15.9. So Evan Ingram at 16.6. That doesn't even make sense. I don't even understand what's happening. How did he get how'd you pass him over through all those? I knew I was missing somebody, but you could take Sinnott at 11.4. Just take Evan Ingram.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately,
I know he's older,
of course, but he's a PPR magnet, so you got to be looking for him for sure.
Not much. Giddens didn't get a big ride. DJ Giddens 15.8 had a great combine. I would have thought he would have went a little higher. Sampson not running. Scatabo not really running. I could see those guys, but maybe Giddens was buried. I wasn't looking at the chart right now,
likely.
But
I'm sure he was buried. I'm sure if you didn't click on the rookie tab, he's probably nowhere to be seen.
They did kind of update saying RJ Harvey, like that pick. I mean, Jalen Warren's a super fun pick. I always find myself with him in my queue. I never end up pulling the trigger, but I mean, 13.3 Jalen Warren, he's had some juice. I would assume the Steelers are going to add another running back, but he's a restricted free agent, so he'll most likely be in Pittsburgh this next year.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't seem like Arthur Smith was, as a big a fan as the previous guys that had been there. But Warren has had some good chunks.
He got better. Warren, he got better as he was obviously nicked up at first because he definitely closed the season a lot better than he started it.
But there's some good running backs being taken in the 12th, 13th, 14th round here that are very interesting. And I don't think Giddens is going to keep lasting here. Javonte, if he signs somewhere interesting, won't last this long.
Giddens won't. He's going to get way too much hype. But then, Aaron Jones, Rashad White, Garendo, 3 in a row, 15-1, 15-2, 15-3. That's a nice group of 15th round running backs.
Yeah. Then you had Noel, who just crushed the combine, coming in at 16.7. He's going to be a riser once he gets some capital. Besh at 16.3. I like that. So nice picks to end the draft here. And then Milton at 16.9. Obviously, we're not drafting all these, but Joe Milton getting some buzz right now. There could be a big trade for Milton here coming up.
Nice grab.
So good grab there. Hollywood at 16.10. I like that. Pop Douglas 16.12 to end the draft. Fanning Jr. has a big drop. In popularity here, but I think he's going to be just fine. I think the 10-yard split, the 3-cone, we're all really good for Fanning. I don't really necessarily care about. I don't know. The RAS score wasn't as good as you want it to be, but when you flip on Fanning's game and then it's showing up in him being quick in the 3-cone, quick on the 10-yard split, those are positives for him, and that's what kind of shows up on the tape for Fanning. So that's probably pretty good value there. So all right, what you like here, what you don't like as far as team builds here, Big Co. I know we could we could throw out this DMW or DWM team, just get rid of it.
DWM.
Yeah, we don't like that one.
I like that. I don't mind that Gibbs Brown start, and then Barkley at 3-2. Like that seems like a, hey, I just signed myself up for the fantasy playoffs in the third round. You know.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get hurt, he can take you to the fantasy playoffs by himself. So Gibbs and Barkley being on the same team is just nasty.
Yeah.
You know, and that you pair that up with taking a Tyler Warren and a Cam Ward back to back, it just brings a lot of question marks to a win now scenario. Not that Gibbs is old, but once you saddle up Saquon Barkley in the third round, like your next tough couple picks should be complementary. That being said, if Warren and Cam Ward go out there and he struck gold in the 4th and 5th round, then he's a high end contender.
Yeah.
All right, so I like the Bowers, Genty, Jordan Love start. These third Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Bo Nix, like these third round quarterbacks, dude. Like you giving me, and then Bo Nix gets a T Higgins and a Dak Prescott, and then McCaffrey and Mixon. Like I might not be pulling the trick. I definitely can't go 7th round Mixon right now, and 6th round McCaffrey doesn't feel good. But dude, if those guys come to week 1 ready to play next year,
then you got ETN and
Mixon,
Kincaid.
Mixon hilariously absolutely murdered it last year until I traded for him. And, like he was crushing it all year long, and then I traded for him going into the fantasy playoffs, and he laid an egg. My team still won the championship, but that one, actually no, not that one did not. There was a Derrick Henry team that I made the trade for. The Mixon did not help me get 3rd place. But yeah, I mean 7th round Mixon, 6th round McCaffrey. Like on that team, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Bo Nix, T Higgins, Dak Prescott. I know nobody likes Dak Prescott, and some people are trying to poo-poo on what Bo Nix did last year. All of a sudden, oh well, it wasn't that good. Well, really,
pretty good.
Like him and Sean Payton drug the Broncos out of the dumpster.
Yeah.
So that McCaffrey Mixon 6-7 right there, like it just home run cuts, and if it goes, if those pop with the first 5 picks, and then Kincaid, which I'll keep some details out of it to remain fairly anonymous on what's going on. But I was talking to Casey this week about trading Kincaid. I got an offer as a rookie pick for Kincaid, and it really made me think deep. And I started looking into it, and it's just like Kincaid at 8.6. That's really really good value here. But like the trade market right now in an existing league, I think he's going to be a really good deal for some people, the owners that aren't patient enough to hang on to him and ride through what happened last year. I think Casey really helped me solidify what I had going on that with that trade offer. And then ETN at 9.7, Shakir at 10.6, gadget player gets $30 million guaranteed. That's a really good first 10 picks right there. Again, the 6th and 7th round McCaffrey Mixon, the dynasty play on that, but like, dude, if you tell me right now, all I need is McCaffrey to be on the field and catch like 60 balls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like can McCaffrey be a high end RB2? Like I don't need I don't need McCaffrey to be the 1-1. I don't need him to be the RB1 anymore. If he does, fantastic. But can I get startable weeks out of Christian McCaffrey where when I put him in my lineup, he, obviously it only happens once if he limps off and he doesn't come back.
Sure.
But like, can I get 1,000 rushing yards, a handful and a half of touchdowns, and 50 catches? Can I get the RB9?
Yeah.
Can I get that?
Yeah, I mean, you could easily be RB1 again for
exactly.
3 more years.
I know. So like that draft pick right there, like when it happened, and we had, it's been 30 minutes. But when that pick happened, I knew somehow I was going to get back around and talk about this. Like Christian McCaffrey is one of the biggest coin flips in a dynasty startup right now. I just offered offered the 210 in a 2-point tight end premium league, which I throw that in there because that makes 210 a little bit more valuable with the tight ends. I offered 210 for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
no go. But I took my shot there just to see. Because, I mean, I feel like a couple weeks ago he was lower than 6'6". You got an ADP on Christian McCaffrey for the FFD ADP. But, yeah, I like that team a lot. And if those 2 running backs right there hit, then he is a obvious championship contender.
5:02, so a little later. He went high in a few drafts for no reason.
Yeah.
So, this is probably appropriate value.
That'll be very interesting to see him matriculate through the summertime here and see what happens with McCaffrey's value.
Oh, for sure. I like I don't mind the 12 team here, RG01 or 11 or whatever that is. He's got Bijan, Brian Thomas, then he got Stroud at 301, then he took Travion. He got Baker at 5-1. He got Devonta Smith, Chuba. He took a shot on Jaden Reed, which I think could be awesome at 8-12. It's really good value. Then he got Downs at 9-1. I like that. Jonnu maybe a little early, but he was kind of needing a tight end that he needed to start.
Absolutely.
And he took Geno maybe around early, but fine, whatever. You got yourself a third that can play.
That Jonnu absolutely was like that could be a smash.
Right. It's probably a little early on the pick, but for what you were building, it could be good. Then he got Spears, Tillman, Ridley, Aaron Jones, and Pop Douglas. So a nice mix on the back end to kind of solidify things. He's pretty young on the front end. And so,
I love the Tillman at 13, but that's not real. That's not real. So the Geno Smith 11-1. The problem is he's at 11-1, so it's going to be 24 picks before he gets back. And what he's looking at is Derek Carr and Geno Smith, the old heads up there by themselves.
Yeah.
And then like the Milrow, and then not another quarterback until Milton.
You got Rodgers and
where's Rodgers
Kirk
at?
Cousins. He didn't get drafted.
Exactly. All right. So you're looking. So you're like. I mean, the Kirk Cousins thing is very interesting because he's not nearly as old as Rodgers, but he looked at last year.
Still pretty old.
He could come back and
banged up.
Be a lot better this year.
He's probably gonna be just fine.
I know. He said it hurt his shoulder, and that had something to do with it. We're thinking
that Achilles was out of gas, and he got a shoulder injury. I think he'll be.
But the 11-1 Geno Smith pick was that I don't like my choices when I get back. I'm gonna take because you don't really know. We've been in that position, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't know if there's another run coming. Yeah. You don't know when you take Geno that you won't. He didn't get a chance at Carr, and you don't know that Kirk Cousins won't make it back to you. Obviously, Kirk Cousins he already had Geno. Kirk Cousins didn't even get drafted, so he had a couple more chances to layer it up there, which I probably would have done that. But Aaron Rodgers probably makes it back to you, but Geno is not 41 either. You know,
he's 37,
34,
38,
34. Man, get that man some youth.
I don't know how old he is.
I just clicked his name. It's the only reason.
Okay,
34.
Thought he was 36, but yeah, 34. There we go. Ken Froggy Dog. I don't mind that build. I would have replaced Sinnott with like I said, maybe Ingram. That's just some building of the team, the construction, and how he went about it. I like it. I like taking those two running backs right there, and then I probably would have taken a few more receivers through the middle here and laid off a running back or two. So I like that. And then coming over to the front half, I like Hoodie's build. I like Lamar, Drake, Purdy. Then he went Taylor, Walker. Got it out of the way. Got two guys that if they're healthy and going, those guys can be top 5 running backs in the league as far as talent and what they can put down.
Definitely.
Then he grabs 3 more receivers. He gets DJ Moore, who's good value. Probably going to come out here and slaughter it.
Great value.
Ricky Pearsall.
Getting more expensive,
TBD,
but I understand it.
Little TBD, but I get it. And then Trey Harris, who I love. And then Mark Andrews, which, hey, you took a shot on a tight end there. You take Dart. I wouldn't take Dart there. I'd just get a veteran quarterback a little later. But it is what it is, and maybe that's a great pick. And Dart probably will continue to rise, and if the capital's good, he's probably not getting him at 10-3. But I like the Royals pick. And then Freiermuth, I probably would have swapped out with Ingram right there. And went with Ingram, Freiermuth, Evan Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
Then he takes Restrepo, Ollie Gordon, Ray Davis, and Besh. So I love the end of that draft there. He just takes some great shots on some youth. And really, I like a lot of these two front teams as well. Like Dan took Jaden Daniels and Drake May. He's got JSN. Then he went Laporta, Worthy, Caleb Johnson. So he's young right here on that front half. And but no real question marks, right?
Exactly.
And then he takes Caleb Johnson, who could just be a hammer for years to come. One of my personal favorites. Picking in Golden, which Golden's not going to last to 8 once he's a first-round draft pick wide receiver. He's going to be up here at 5, maybe even 4.
But you could tell.
He just ran a 4.29, and if he gets first-round draft capital somewhere, people are going to be heads are going to explode.
But you could tell Dan's just collecting good football players.
Right.
Like, that's a really good draft he just put together.
Took Neal and Johnson. So, like, you're young. You got fluidity. You can bring in an old running back if you need him, if this team's popping off and you're not getting anything from your running backs. Then you got Jennings and Myers. So, if Golden or Pickens isn't paying off right now, you can plug Jennings or Myers in whenever you need him. And then Deebo is the only one. Like, Myers is old, but he's not that old. But Deebo just plays style, like I probably wouldn't. It's fine to take Deebo there. Like I just would have probably skewed Young again. Just stayed skewing Young there. But it's fine. You can get points and be just fine. And then he love the 2 tight end shots right there, Taylor and Johnson, and then Braylon Allen. Sure,
obviously. I like the in that, even on this team that late, Deebo at 13-11. What if Deebo comes out there looking fresh again?
I think he can certainly crush.
He's got a team full of points here. Like the running backs could be dragging you towards a good first-round pick next year. And like you said, you could bring in a veteran if you want to. If all of a sudden you're just blowing up and you need to trade for, Alvin Kamara or whatever at the trade deadline, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, you want to bring in a veteran, James Conner, whoever's still hitting at the end of the year to try to help you if you make the playoffs, you can want to do whatever. But I like that. 2 things for me before we get really wrapped up here. When I'm the Chase Brown, the Jamar Chase, Trey McBride team, and they go Achane at 3-9. If I'm sitting there at 3-9 and we get to 3-4, 3-5, 3-6, 3-7 and 8 are on the board or still on the board, and Bo Nix and Jordan Love's on the board, not taken yet, I'm trading up a pick. Right? My knees are shaking. And, I'm not trying to have both of those quarterbacks go off in front of me like that. Mm-hmm. And those quarterbacks go bang bang you just ripped the heart out of my chest, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in Achane's a fine pick, and there's plenty of other picks could have had there, and a Rashee Rice right there, a healthy Rashee Rice right there with those 2 would have been looking beautiful. The moral of this story, if you've been listening this long, you're still watching the video, is anybody out there not? If you're obviously is anybody out there not doing a 3rd-round reversal? Because it's not going to be fair for the leagues that don't have 3rd-round reversal, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just evens everything up. You give me Josh Allen and even Ladd McConkey, Rashee Rice was just a stud couple of picks right here to put with Josh Allen. Like, it's just even 312, it doesn't matter. Like, there's still the value, the talent and the value on these picks is so nice.
Yeah.
312, 4-1 doesn't matter. Just saying, like, to flip that around and bring, Josh Allen, McConkey, and like if 3-1 was sitting here with Josh Allen and that CJ Stroud, like, that's just the asset value is just not really there's a reason that 3rd-round reversal is getting a little bit popular, and
Superflex.
The more we look at this, like you guys are starting up leagues this year, you have to talk to your league mates about 3rd-round reversal and at least let them.
Yeah, some people say it makes the back end too strong.
I agree. I agree with that. But you get a guy, you just get Josh Allen and CJ Stroud on the same team without having to make any trades.
Could be ridiculous. I mean, if Drake May does what he's going to do or possibly do, and you got Jaden Daniels who continues to grow, and this, that's a ridiculous pairing there. So, all right, let's wrap this one up. Appreciate you guys. Keep it locked and loaded over here. We'll be live next Monday, and then I'm probably off the following Monday. But keep coming back. We'll keep bringing in some drafts live. Maybe we could switch it up to a rookie mock, maybe, potentially at some point. We did some dynasty trades, so we could switch some things up. We know who Big Co won't be taking in a startup rookie mock.
You better fucking not.
He goes, you better not get one share. His teeth weren't even moving. You better not get one Tyler Warren.
Don't you even.
I can't wait to get
Don't you
just
even.
Get all up in the shuffleboard and take that Tyler Warren.
Even. All right. If you want some more content, come over on the Discord. We got $5 holler. We got $10 holler. You want a $25 roster review, holler at us. We got
price of that might be going up.
Free Discord. Best shot to get in the draft here. We got FFD ADP. We're about to update rankings for Dynasty players, and we will have some updated rookie rankings here very soon now that the combine's in, and we got a bunch of good data coming your way. We got all sorts of good information to then. We did a kind of a film breakdown ranking of the rookies, and we're going to add in some analytical stuff. And
so many sheets, won't need a comforter.
That's right.
Sheets.
Yeah, we want a model bitch with a personality, so that's what we're building.
Did you see me just
get a lot of context?
Did you gonna screenshot that?
Maybe.
That was about sheets on Google Sheets, on spreadsheets, on spreadsheets.
What are you putting in those sheets?
I just got canceled.
Yeah. Bunch of German meth chocolate.
Jeez.
All right. We'll see you next week.
On that note.
Yeah. In case you didn't know, the Germans were doing meth during World War II, eating chocolate with methamphetamines in it.
You just found this out.
No, I didn't. I was Jason didn't look like he knew.
I didn't know either. You were breaking news?
Oh. Yes.
That's why they're so geeked up. Yeah, that makes sense. You got to feed your troops some drugs.
Yeah.
In the show.
Charge on! All right, we'll see you motherfuckers later. Peace.
Let's go, Brock Bowers.
Better not get one
Not
single
one